guys, and welcome back. So today I'm going to be testing out a palette, but I thought I would try something a little bit different with you guys today. Normally when I test out a new palette, I come on with my eye makeup. There's no eye makeup, and I kind of give you my first impressions as I use it. But today you can already tell I already have all of my makeup done. Today's palette is not just about the formula and the colors. We're looking at it today as a package deal. The reason I decided to change it up today is because I am going to be reviewing the Bésame Snow White palette. I was lucky enough to be able to grab this on a pre-sale. This isn't actually available online anymore. It was only available during the pre-sale, and I think it's like once a week, maybe, or every other week. I'm not really sure how they're doing it, but they're releasing like one product at a time as part of a pre-sale up until the launch of this whole Snow White collection, which I think is sometime in November. There are some other pieces of this collection that I am definitely keeping my eye out for. The packaging on all of these pieces, so there's like a mirror, there's a face palette, there's lipsticks, there's lip glosses, there's other palettes. The packaging is just stunning. It is part of, I think it's their 1937 Snow White collection, so everything in this collection is being done kind of in the 1930s style, or something that you might see back in the 30s, which is really awesome. But what really attracted me to this palette is that this is an entirely matte palette. So you get 20 shades in this palette. I think it was $60, so it did hurt my heart a little bit to buy it, but I mean, when you see everything that's gone into this palette, which I'm going to be showing you guys in a minute, you'll realize it really kind of is worth that price. It is a little steep, but just all of the ideas and like the background that went into this is just amazing. So on the back of this box, so this is just like the sleeve that the palette comes in, you can see all 20 of the shades that they have included in this palette. Like I said, they are all matte, and they are actually all colors straight from the original animated Snow White movie. I'll actually touch on that more in a second about the colors being from the movie, but when you remove this from the sleeve, it comes out as a storybook. Look at the design on this. Look at how beautiful that is. Like, the whole thing looks amazing. There's the back of it, and even the side is ridged as if it were actual pages. That's just, they really put so much thought into this palette. Like, it still kind of stuns me. Now, honestly, I am normally pretty practical, so the first thing I thought when I saw this was, this is not very travel friendly. And honestly, it really isn't, but I do feel like if you want to take this with you, you know, you pack it in a carry-on, pack it in a suitcase, your purse, whatever, it's really, really sturdy. Like, it's not hollow, it's tough. I don't feel like any of this would actually get bent or like hurt anyway. So that, although it is kind of bulky, that is a big plus. But I think the real beauty of this palette lies right here in these next few pages. So you have this clear overlay with Snow White's outline, and then you actually have a picture of Snow White. This clear overlay shows you all of the colors that you can use to get Snow White's look from the original Disney 1937 movie. All of the shades here, let me actually show you the palette itself. All of the shades here are named after the colors from the movie. So you have shades like Pastel 10 and Holly 104, Beige 106, Cocoa 103. So when you go back to this page here, it tells you exactly which shades you need to get the look that she has in the movie. The next couple of pages here tell you a little bit about the palette and how to use it if you want to recreate some of the looks and the colors from the movie. So let me read you just a little bit of it because I think it's going to be too hard to see on the screen. But the first page here says, to create an authentic Disney Snow White look inspired by the film, please follow this guide using the Disney Snow White the 1937 collection palette. And it tells you exactly what to do for the eyes. There's also like a face guide, which they're coming out with more products, like I said, in the near future, and some of them are face products, so it tells you which products to use for her face. And there's also a red lipstick coming out. That's the 1937 Snow White Red, which sounds amazing. And so it gives you the guide for the lips too. But the next page here says, to celebrate the 80th anniversary of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, we have collaborated with Disney to create this exclusive collection inspired by the original artwork and color palette of this iconic film. Through extensive and careful research, we have painstakingly hand-selected and matched the colors from the original color palette provided by Disney's ink and paint department to bring you a beautiful and authentic recreation of the colors from the 1937 film. Experience the truly timeless and stunning beauty of the original animation in a brand new way. And in the corner here, I just don't know how well you can see it, but that is the actual color chart from the 1937 film that they used to match the colors for this palette. So as I already kind of showed you earlier, here are the colors that they chose. The page right next to it here actually tells you what each color was used for. So like Pastel 10 up here was the flesh shade, Java 103 was her shoes, Pastel 105 her skirt underside. Like, these are literally the closest recreations they could get to the colors from the movie. So the look that I'm wearing today on my eyes is entirely from this palette, with the exception of I used one ColourPop shade kind of on the inner corner just to give it a little more glow for the camera. But these shades, if you guys watched my previous video on the Physicians Formula Butter highlighters, these shades almost feel like that to the touch. They feel very creamy and very, very buttery. Let me go ahead and swatch some of my favorite colors in here, just so you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about when I say that they feel really buttery and just like those highlighters. I'm just so surprised at this formula. So I've got a red and a blue and the cocoa color here. This is one swipe and I have barely tapped into these. Normally when I do swatches, I like to rub my finger in the pan and then swipe it on my hand, but this is just one swipe. So I think the swatches kind of help tell the story a little bit better, but there are a couple of cons to go along with the pros. So they're really pigmented, they're buttery, they're creamy, they blend really well because they're so creamy, but they do have quite a bit of fallout in the pan. So when I was tapping my brush in, it was just flying everywhere. Now it's not as bad as like the Subculture palette was. That was just like the most ridiculous kickback I have ever seen in any palette for most of the shades. So it's not that bad, but it definitely does kick up quite a bit. It doesn't translate to your face though. So once your brush is out of the palette and you're putting it on your eyes, there's almost no fallout on your face. And I think that's just because of the formula. Like I said, they're really creamy, so where you put it, it's gonna stay there. But it is a little messy in the palette. I also don't know if you guys could notice when I was trying to hold this up, that this is really kind of difficult to get to the eyeshadow shades. So you have like these 3 or 4 pages here, and you also have 2 clear overlays. So it's really the clear overlays that give you the problem, because no matter what you do, you're going to have something to hold this side down while you work with this side, because if you don't, this is what happens. It just pops up and gets all up in your business. You know, again, there's also no shimmer shades in here. It's just 20 straight up matte shades. So I actually bought this kind of more to be like a compliment to other palettes, because I have like a textured, glittery eyeshadow, like unhealthy obsession. And I kind of find myself in the position sometimes where I don't have enough matte shades to complement like the plethora of crazy shimmer shades that I have. So I think this is going to be a great addition. But if you're looking to do, you know, entire looks on their own, you probably want to complement this with, you know, single shadows or like a straight up shimmery palette, because this does not have any. So this was the first product that I have ever tried from Bésame Cosmetics, and I am quite certain that it will not be the last. I was really impressed with, like, honestly, just all the thought that went into this whole collection, and especially this palette. You know, I'm not going to say the packaging is super economical for traveling. You know, it is kind of bulky. It's like the size of my head. Pretty thick, but you know, again, I don't think that's kind of the point of the collection. The shadows in the palette are super creamy and pigmented, and honestly, probably some of the easiest shadows that I've ever tried to blend together. But you know, the palette isn't entirely about the shadows. It's really about like the construction of the whole thing. It's just what they included, and you know, all the colors and the background and how to use every color. I just think that you know, that honestly just makes the palette worth it to me. So as this collection launches other pieces, stay tuned. I will probably be grabbing a couple more pieces, as I was just so impressed with this palette. And if you guys like this better than me just sitting here trying on my eyeshadow for you, let me know in the comments below. Or if you prefer the other way around, let me know that too. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I was so excited to share this with you. I'm sure you'll be seeing it in a bunch of other videos, because that is how much I cannot wait to use it. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye guys!